right, fall bulk day 2. Weighed in this morning at 191 point. I think it was 191.2, 191.3, or 191.4. I don't remember off the top of my head, but somewhere over there. So, yeah, definitely getting to the gym a little later today. It's like 3 o'clock my time. I've got 2 meals down, so I'm a meal behind. But that's okay, because I still feel like relatively like digested and fresh. It's because I was up late last night. I was working on this one thing for a fret that I'm rushing at, which I was up till like 1 a.m. So I ended up waking up at like 9:45. So a little bit behind on sleep meals. Like the entire day is just kind of like shifted forward. So I'm probably gonna eat later, but enough of the small talk, just kind of about me, because just reflecting on yesterday, I realized that it's kind of boring and people probably don't want to listen to me ramble on about some random BS going on in my life, and more so just about like the training, which is what I'm gonna try and keep it centered to. So today is leg day. It's a bug on the ground. Leg day. It's week 3. Second half of week 3, which means that quads, I'm going to do 3 sets of Smith squats, which are killer. Do like slow tempo on those, so you'll see when I record form and all that stuff, talk about cues, it's good. And then I'll do, I think, 1 or 2 sets of walking lunges, and then 1 set of leg extensions followed by a superset of sissy squats. Now I do that because when I get to leg extensions, sissy squats, and pretty much anything after my major squat, at least my quads, I'm trying to get more blood and metabolites into the muscle rather than working on the heavier, more compound movements that hit more of like the fast twitch muscle fibers and stuff. So that's what the game plan is. And the hamstring's going to do a heavier hinge, heavier RDL, probably play around with like 315 maybe, depending on how my back's feeling, because lower back fatigue is definitely something that I have to watch out for as a person. It's just like genetically, I guess, or just notice my lower back tends to get fatigued a little bit faster than the rest of my body. So if I don't get as high up in RDLs as I want to, I will hammer more volume on hamstring curls, because those definitely work well for me. But when I get the opportunity to do heavier stuff on barbells, then it works out. Just got to be careful about managing fatigue. And then after that, I'll probably hit some higher volume on calves. Calves, definitely notoriously a weak point for me, as well as pretty much everybody else in their physique. So what I'm trying to do, and it's been a slow and steady process of bringing them up, but what has worked a little bit has been doing like higher volume stuff with less rest in between, just focusing on like getting a weighted stretch and just like going until pretty much failure, even though regardless of what point of the meso I'm in. So I think that's the game plan, and workout probably should be around 2 hours of filming. No idea how long this is going to get me to, but I do have somewhere I have to be at 6, so I can't be in the gym for as long as I was yesterday, which is probably a good thing, because the video ended up being 27 minutes, and I'd like to keep this one around 15 to 20 if at all possible. So yeah, we'll see how that's gonna work. I think when it comes to leg training, somebody's playing the piano in the background. But anyway, I think when it comes to leg day training or leg training in general, I think it's good to train hard. You just have to be really careful about your exercise selection. I think that when people hammer hard squats, at least it's my experience, is that your CNS gets burned really early on into the meso. Joints get overly fatigued if you get to a certain strength level, and the more advanced you get, the stronger you get. If you still want to train intense and train close to failure, anything 3 reps or less away from failure, you do have to be really mindful of, controlling the weight, eccentric, all that slow stuff, to just make sure that your CNS and joints don't get too hammered. And that's definitely been my approach, and I think it's worked decently well for me in my leg day training thus far. If I have any regrets over the past couple of years, it's trying to push squats too far when I was getting to a point in my training where I just get fatigued, overly fatigued, and it shouldn't have worked. I should have switched to a better variation that allowed me to recover a little bit quicker, because I probably would have avoided some injuries there. So I did get a lower back injury, but that ended up working out over time as I got smarter with exercise selection and managing fatigue. So especially as you're getting later in your training, you got to be, and especially if you're natural, you got to be really conscious of how you're managing fatigue. And it even extends to like enhanced folks too, because when you're enhanced, your joints don't grow as quickly as your muscles, so got me even more considerate there. But just coming into the rec center now, so I'll probably pick it up when I'm all done warming up and about to hit my first working set on Smith squats. So. So for that, focus on keeping chest up, because most people when they squat, they hinge a shit ton, which at least for me, takes a bunch of strain off the quads. It adds a bunch, what's up Brody? Adds a bunch of shit to hips, which gets me overly fatigued. So basically just focusing on keeping your chest up, getting a gnarly stretch in your quads, just try and maximize growth that way. So that's everything. Hope it helps. You know what does suck is when you realize that you have to do your top set without any music because you want to record it. That really sucks, but that's how much I'm dedicated to this, is so much so that I will literally not listen to music for my top set. So I got 345 on the bar. I'm gonna go for around 8. We will see how it goes. I am expecting 8, but I'm expecting it's gonna be painful, to say the least. And honestly, if it's not painful, what the fuck are you doing?
Is that your last one? What? Was that your last one? Oh wait, I started, didn't I? Didn't I start? Yeah, you did. Didn't one more. I don't even know if I can do this. Is that good?
Alright, so with that,
Catch you later.
I'll catch you later, bro.
Have a good one.
Me too. Alright, so with that, basically, I'm having the seat set that far backwards because I'm trying to have my hips in extension, because what that does is it allows your quads to work in the lengthened position, and having that variability and stimulus is going to be optimal for quad growth. So it's just essentially another vector in which I can stimulate growth, so I can take advantage of it. So that's the main reason why. So hopefully that helped. Alright, so RDLs. RDLs are fun. I like doing them, like once a week, but it gets to a point where my back just, it's like I've had too much fun on a Saturday night, but wrong kind of fun. I don't know, but once a week, just because for me personally, that's all I can handle. So I'm probably just gonna go and try and get a gnarly pump, hamstring curls, because that's the current way the back is right now. It's kind of unfortunate. My top set that I filmed got the wrong angle, so I didn't even get a top set film. Just you have to trust me on the fact that I hit 345 for 8, and it fucking hurt. And now I have to do hamstring curls instead. So that's what the deal is. Last exercise, we got calves. Should probably have done these at the beginning of the workout, just because since calves are a weak point of mine, doing them before I tax everything else, hamstring, quad, all that stuff wise, would be beneficial, just because also calves are a rather smaller muscle group, so they don't require as much pushing just systemically in order to like promote growth, so it's not going to impact anything as much towards the end of the workout. So moving forward, I will probably be doing calves first, try and bring them up, but we'll get filming on the first working set just so I can show technique. In terms of technique with calves, one thing I really try to emphasize is the weighted stretch and not taking too much time at the top. I just noticed that it just gets them pumped and just hammered a little bit sooner rather than having to wait and just like pump out volume. Also calves, because they're a smaller muscle group, rest periods in between sets is probably going to be a lot shorter, at least that is what it is in my experience. So if anything, if you take anything away from calf training here, be to get relatively higher volume, because since they're a smaller muscle group, they can recover quicker. Go with higher rep ranges and focus on slow eccentric weighted stretch. So yeah, hopefully you take something away from that. Well, yeah, let's just get to the actual filming of the set now. All right, leg workout finished. I'll rate a 7 out of 10. Went into it, keep in mind, I've only had 2 meals today, and it's currently 6 o'clock pretty much. So I'm a little behind on the food, and because of that, at the end of the leg workout, it started to drag on. I was a little bit depleted, which is to be expected. Also, not horrible, because I woke up this morning a pound heavier, and I'm trying to stay roughly in the 190 range until the end of the meso. So in like 3 weeks, but overall, not bad. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I don't really know if I have any. Oh, major disappointment was not recording the RDLs. Not recording them was unfortunate, because that was a PR at my current body weight. Hit 345 for 8 reps, but the fact that I couldn't get that on camera was unfortunate because I was heaviest lift of the day, so it would have been the most interesting to have on camera. But I got a bunch of content anyway, so hopefully it works out fine. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Tomorrow's a rest day, so probably not going to record. Probably just upload some random stuff from prior workouts, and then chest day afterwards, which is something I haven't filmed before, which hopefully will be a good day. I do enjoy hitting chest, and got some interesting tips. In terms of nutrition, being a college student and living off of dining hall food, there isn't as much from a nutrition standpoint I am personally doing right now, just because I'm kind of living off of all the food. But if anybody's still in high school and the parents cook for them, at least for me, what has worked in my past experiences has been doing higher carb, lower fat during bulks, and then having more frequent meals. And I'll tell you why. Because when you have higher fat meals, two things. First of all, glycogen storage, which is really important when you're bulked. You want to make sure that your glycogen stores are pretty much topped out almost all of the time. And if you're eating fat, you're kind of leaving some of that extra fullness on the table. And then beyond that, fat also takes a lot longer to digest than carbs, which can make it harder to get more food down. Now, in order for this to work, you have to be eating pretty frequently. Whenever you're eating higher carbs, you're going to be hungry more often, but it's up to you to eat when you're hungry. And if you don't, then at that point, maybe you should eat higher fat, just because it takes more time digesting. It's more calorie dense. So it might work if you're not having as high meal frequency. But I would say if you're not having as high of meal frequency, at least 4 meals a day, then I do think that you are leaving gains on the table. But yeah, and other than that, 1 gram per pound of body weight, protein. But in terms of nutrition, it's pretty simple. Don't like to overcomplicate things. You can definitely make a lot of progress as a natural well into your advanced years. Honestly, I think as you get more advanced, the variable that is probably most important in terms of making progress in the gym and just in general is probably sleep, which as a college student is also kind of hard to get to, just from homework. And then also just I'm not gonna lie, I like to go out, and if you're doing that a whole lot, then that can have impact on your progress. I mean, I didn't used to do it a whole lot in high school, but being a freshman in college, there's a whole lot to experience, and I like doing that, but I definitely won't make it a lifestyle choice, just because I do care a lot about the gym and just school as well. So yeah, no judgment for people that do that, though. Just you gotta weigh the pros and cons. You have fun, but if you're looking to optimize progress in the gym, you are leaving gains on the table if you're not getting sleep. I mean, personally, for me, I try and find ways to sleep, but then also enjoy, what there's to do in college. But if you're not sleeping, one thing I have noticed that if I don't get enough sleep, and this other people might be able to relate to this, is that you wake up and your joints feel worse. And it depends on the kind of sleep that you're getting, because there's deep sleep and there's REM sleep. Deep sleep promotes growth hormone. When you sleep and you're in deep sleep, you're going through that cycle, you get growth hormone release, which helps heal, obviously, muscle and then growth and connective tissue, which is really important for fatigue. But then also REM sleep is also equally as important, because that helps with recovering some of the central nervous system fatigue that was accumulated, as well as systemic fatigue overall. So both are really important. But in terms of naps, I think that naps are better at replacing REM sleep. So it's important in the first 4 or 5 hours of sleep to make sure that you're getting quality deep sleep, just because that's where you get the growth hormone, and it's kind of hard to replicate that during a nap that lasts 45 minutes, because it takes time to get into deep sleep in general. And normally that's where it's also really important to fall asleep at the same time. So if anything, if you're trying to skimp out on sleep at all, you fall asleep at the same time, maybe 11 o'clock at night, and then maybe you wake up at 5 a.m. and then do whatever, but it's probably not the best to be falling asleep at like 3 a.m. unless you're used to doing that, which you can make an argument for. But at that point, it's probably just easier to be an early bird than a morning lark than a night owl. So those are my thoughts on that. Hopefully some of this was entertaining and provided some kind of information. Everything's important when it comes to lifting. And everything's important when it comes to progressive. Trying to optimize anything, you got to pay attention to everything. So the more nerdy you are about something, the more that you get into the nitty gritty, as long as you have your base established, the better. So there's no shame in getting a fixation on lifting, on your work, your job, whatever. It's all good things. So that's all I got to say. Done blabbing. So I'm probably going to go eat and then go do some homework. So hopefully you guys enjoyed.